All right, so a lot of Browns fans are calling for Kevin Stefanski to be fired after last night's loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Keep in mind, this is after Kevin Stefanski took the Browns to an 11-5 record last season. He's in his second season as a head coach, and they want him fired. After one disappointing season, Browns fans want him fired. Like, like, give me a break. That is completely ridiculous. Like, is Stefanski perfect? No, absolutely not. Has he had a good year calling good plays? By no stretch of the imagination has this been a good year for Kevin Stefanski. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that a lot. All right, I'm gonna get into that in this video. But as for my fellow Browns fans, grow up. Would you rather have Freddie Kitchens back as your head coach? Would you rather have Hugh Jackson back as your head coach? Stefanski's in his second year as head coach, and he's already got 17 wins. And you guys want him fired. What in the world is this? I will say, though, this year has kind of reminded me of what happened in 2018, 2019, where the Browns showed at least a little bit of dominance in 2018, especially in the later half of the season. And then they had an extremely disappointing year the next year with Freddie frickin' Kitchens as their head coach. No, this is not the exact same. Because we actually we're actually keeping Kevin Kitchens for another year, probably. Hopefully. Hopefully he can get all the kinks out. But speaking of the kinks, oh boy, is there a lot. Now, as I've said, the Browns are 6-6, so they're mediocre. They're not good. They're not great. Probably not going to get a very good draft position this year unless they absolutely tank. But, anyways, they're not out of the playoff picture yet. So there is still time for Kevin Stefanski to get his act together and start doing what he should as a head coach. Like, the Browns have a bye week this week, and they can work out a lot of things. Or they can get some things worked out. Hopefully, they can get the offense worked out because we got the Ravens again in 2 weeks, and then we got a tough schedule for the rest of the season. And for the rest of the season, Stefanski needs to get all that swagger that he had from last season and all that swagger that the entire offense had from last season and bring it all back. I mean, they're taking the far, far, far fewer shots downfield. They're not running it nearly as well as they could be. I mean, part of that, or a large part of that, is because the offensive line has been battered or has been beaten down by injuries. That Jedrick Wills has been injured this entire year. Jack Conklin is going to be out for the remainder of the year after he already missed some significant time. But that being said, the only players that on this Browns offense that have not not lost any swagger are the offensive line people that have been or that have remained healthy. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Out of that entire roster, you've got Jarvis Landry, you've got Baker Mayfield, you had Odell Beckham Jr. And the offensive line and the running backs are the only ones that have managed to keep their swagger. That is ridiculous. Now, as for Kevin Stefanski, the play calling or the injuries may have, or they most likely did influence his play calling quite a bit. They are running fewer bootlegs. They are taking fewer shots downfield. And they are calling far more conservative plays. Well, I think last night showed that the injuries aren't hurting Baker as much as we thought they may have been. I mean, he was still able to throw the ball downfield. He was still able to evade pressure, although he was clearly in pain while doing it. Like, he's still clearly willing to, or still clearly able to take some shots downfield. So why aren't you taking some more? Why aren't you taking a few more? I sincerely hope that his reasoning behind not taking these more liberal plays are because of injuries and not because I really hope that his reasoning for taking these more liberal and more aggressive plays are because of either his own ineptitude as a second-year head coach or injuries. Either of those issues, you can work those out. Like, obviously, people can get healthier, and obviously, Stefanski can learn from his mistakes. I really, really, really hope that it's not because he doesn't trust the players anymore. That's going to be a lot harder to work out. That's going to be a much more difficult fix for the Browns. So hopefully it's one of the first two explanations, or something else that's a relatively easy fix. Now, Stefanski keeps admitting that he needs to do better in he needs to do better in XYZ. He keeps saying this in his post-game conferences, but he's not making the adjustments to get better. He's just not. And look back at the Chargers game. The Browns were down 5 points with less than 2 minutes, and they were throwing checkdowns and screens. And keep in mind, they were on their side of the 50, not like on the 48-yard line. They were deep in their own territory, and they were calling checkdowns and screens. Well, look at what happened last night. Again, they were down by 6, less than 2 minutes to go, deep in their own territory, and they were throwing checkdowns and screens. and they were calling run plays. Like, I understand that Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt can bust out a 70-yard play like that, but in that situation, it just doesn't happen enough to warrant using them in that role in that situation. I'm not even a big football nerd, and I can see that. I can see that I can tell you that just by watching the games. Stefanski, if you're watching, you're probably not, but it, you got to do better than this. Like, uh, don't. Like, like, you got to cut the crap, okay? We can see that, or you say that that you need to get better at this, and you do, but you need to get better. And you need to stop saying you need to get better and actually get better at what you're doing. And also, so that's not the only thing that he needs to get better about. Every time the Browns are down early in the game, they always panic. They always panic. And that's right when Stefanski wants to move away from his strengths in the running game. And like, you're down 3 points, and you don't need to be calling it like 20-yard pass plays at that time. And, like, your strengths are still the running backs. You still have time to to march down the field and score a touchdown. You had plenty of time to do that. No, you got plenty of time. No need to panic at that point in time. You save that for the 2-minute warning. Alright, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and follow me on social media. Also, I have a sports talk show podcast that I do with my friend Ty every Thursday. Subscribe over there as well. Watch our most recent episode. Hell, watch all our episodes, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye.